Hey, it's Greg Schweitzer, the founder and chief catalyst here at Catalyst Transformation Institute. And I want to have a conversation with you about something that becomes a conversation for every single person that I work with, whether I'm training them or coaching them or just encouraging them. This question, this comment, this conversation always comes up. And it usually arises out of a specific situation. You ready? Here we go. The specific situation is the feeling of trying to navigate between I'm supposed to be ambitious and productive and work hard and do these things and pursue my goals and always be going and always be pushing forward and just me saying that I'm running out of breath. But at the same time, mind you, as if that wasn't enough, at the same time, I feel like maybe I'm gonna burn out. I'm getting overwhelmed. I'm wearing out. I'm gonna crash and burn. Do you know what I'm talking about? Feeling like you always have to be on and you're always just one step ahead of something coming crashing down. You're just barely keeping your head above the water because I've got to keep paddling otherwise. Okay, so let's talk about this because this is a terrible place to be. The whole reason I coach people, the whole reason people seek help and pursue dreams and goals and that kind of stuff is they want a good life. But the thing is it never feels like a good life if you're constantly trying to balance and navigate between consistent ambition and activity, and while at the same time trying not to crash and burn and wear out, right? And sometimes we even get to the place where we start beating ourselves up and going, geez, I guess I just wasn't made for this. Maybe I'm just too tired, I'm too weak, I'm not smart enough, I'm not strong enough, and all of those things are lies. And what's really missing is a critical element of clarity that I want to get with you. This moment of clarity comes from one specific question, and it's the question I ask every one of the people that I'm working with when this comes up. You ready? The question is, how much is enough? I want you to feel the weight of that for just a minute here because that question in and of itself has some ambiguity to it, but at the same time, you can feel the weight of it. How much is enough? So this conversation, like I said, comes up with every single person at some point in time. And it's important enough that I've got some specific things that I've been thinking about for a time now that I wanted to bring to you. So let's begin with those pieces. And I've got them right here in front of me so that I can make sure I stay on track for you, okay? First off, I want you to get in touch with that sensation that's like believing and feeling like you always need to be on and productive, and then wondering, maybe even fearing, how long can I keep this up? I mean, when am I gonna crash and burn or wear out or fizzle out or worse, just come apart? All right. How much is enough? How much money? How much time? How much energy? How much exercise? How many calories? How many hours? How much is enough? And you see, enough is about staying between the lines of too much and too little. And I want to talk with you about this for just a minute because this is where things really start to make more sense. Okay, too much. You know when things are too much when you start to feel overwhelmed, when you start to feel tired, you feel like you can't keep it up, you feel like you don't even care anymore, right? Okay, that's what having too much is, okay? And then too little, and by the way, this has a lot to do with your motivation and staying engaged with those things that are important to you, especially around your dreams and your goals. If you feel like it's always too much, you know what ends up happening? People sell out and they stop pursuing their goals and they start to convince themselves that I guess these weren't that important anyway, or I'm not enough to make this happen, okay? Too little, on the other side, is about boredom. It's about stagnation. It's about stimulation instead of overstimulation. It's about understimulation, where you get bored. And we human beings weren't made to be at that level of low, and we were definitely never meant to be at a place where we're about ready to crack. And so how do you stay between the lines? What does that look like? And is it possible? And I know the thing that's popping up in your head right now because it pops up with every single person that I'm talking to about this very conversation. And the question is, and the comment is, and the thing that's popping up in your head is, but you can never have enough, right? I want you to know something right now. I want you to get really clear on this, is that idea that you've been sold that you can never have enough is a mindset of scarcity. It's about lack. It's about an underlying fear and belief that there's not enough for anyone. And you better get all you can now because it's never going to be around. And yet, every day, every month, every year, people are still succeeding. People are still reaching their dreams. Things are still happening. So when are we ever going to run out? Okay, here's what you need to do for yourself. Number one, realize that scarcity mindset and that lack mentality is a lie. It's just a lie, okay? It's an unfortunate one, but it's not about how much you can have. It's about how much makes you fulfilled. So one of the activities that I do with my clients is that I run them through something called an ideal life guide, an ideal life scenario. And it helps them do some mental positioning to figure out what's the most important things to them and to have that would represent the ideal life for them. And when they get really clear on this, number one, you know how much is enough. Because if you think about this, an ideal life, if you really think about it, it doesn't include everything. You're not interested in everything. And it does not include all of anything. So let's say, for example, I want to make a certain income. I don't need all the money, right? I don't need it all. I just need enough that's going to be able to fund the life that I want. Let's say I want to be, I want to have nice vehicles and nice things, but I don't need all the things. I can only have so many couches. I can only have so many cars. I only need so many TVs, right? So the question is, how much is enough? What's going to represent an ideal life for you from a place of fulfillment and not a place of lack and scarcity? Okay. So what I'm encouraging you to do is spend some time defining how much is enough. Okay. How much income? How many hours? How much time with your significant other and your kids and all of those things? How much is enough that's going to bring the fulfillment? Because when you're concentrating on the fulfillment, you don't notice any lacking because there isn't any. Okay. Instead of I always got to be doing more and having more and being more and that kind of stuff, ask yourself the question: how much is enough? Get really clear on how much is enough, and then, and this is the kicker, and then pursue that and that alone. Don't pursue more than that, and don't pursue less. Don't settle for less, but don't push yourself over the top as well. I hope this is really helpful to you, but I will tell you that this conversation, when I have it with people, is a complete pivot. It's a completely different paradigm to start thinking about how much is enough instead of how much do I need to do. Ooh. All right. You know I love you. Be great. It's what you're made for.